Hi there, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to discuss how to create your own NuGet packages using .NET 8, GitHub Actions, and semantic versioning. For those unfamiliar with semantic versioning, the way it works is you have three subcategories. The first being the major version, used for breaking changes. The second being the minor version, used for features. And the third being patches, which is used for bugs and other various minor tasks. So to get started, what we've done is we've just created a new repository and we've pulled that down. And inside that is a new project called Utilities Package Tutorial. And then I've created a new project inside called Utilities Package Tutorial. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a workflow in GitHub, and we're going to provide all the CI/CD pipeline tasks that we need to complete to get our package into GitHub private repositories. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the terminal and we're going to create a new folder called GitHub. Now that we're inside that folder, what we're going to do is create a new file called main YAML. Now that we've created that file, we can get started with our main CI/CD pipeline. So what I've done here is I've pasted the code that we'll need, and I'll explain a little bit of what it's actually doing. So the name of it is CI/CD pipeline, and we're going to run this pipeline every time we push to the main branch. We allocate the project path, which is stated here, and we also set the package output directory, which is GitHub Workspace. Next, we call our job release. We're going to run it on Ubuntu latest, and we're going to give it the permission of contents write. Next, we're going to add some steps. The first step is to check out our project, and then we're going to set the .NET version, in this case being .NET 8.0.x, indicating any patch version is also okay. Next, we're going to set up the semantic release setup. So in this case, we're using a pre-existing workflow called psych_jimmy semantic release actions. And to get this to work is that we need to set up a release step where we have the branch of main, some plugins, which we're going to use to automatically create release notes and to run an analyzer on the commit. And then we're also specifying GitHub, and finally a release RC JSON file. Then we use the action itself, which is semantic release actions 3. And then finally we pack and publish the project, first validating that the output of the previous step is true, and then running .NET clean, .NET pack, and then .NET NuGet push. In this case, we need to set the NuGet path of where the package is, and then we need to set the source, and finally the GitHub token. So next we'll create the release RC JSON file in the same directory as the main YAML file, and we'll just create empty brackets. So next, what we want to do is we want to enforce our commit messages to ensure that we follow the correct standard for the semantic version. The way we can do that is by leveraging Git's built-in hook. What you may not have noticed is that there's a folder called Git hooks, and inside that there's a commit-message sample. We're not going to use that today. However, we're going to follow a similar approach by creating our own file, which we can then use. To do that, what we're going to do is we're going to close all our hidden files, and in the root directory, we're going to add a new file, and we're going to call it commit message. Inside commit message, we're going to paste in the following code. What this code is doing is validating that the semantic commit message style is being confirmed. And second, it's confirming that the message length is between 1 and 50. The last step is we need to go into the CS proj file and we need to update that with our correct settings. So the correct settings that I've added are the unique package ID, which is unique to NuGet. Then we have the version, which we're starting off at version 1. We have the author and the company, which I've just set to Seth Jacobs. We have a description for the package. We have the repository URL. And then finally, we've added a build step where we will move the file that we just created, commit message, into the respective Git hooks folder. Now, before we build, one thing we'll need to do is move the commit message up to the root repository, as before I made a mistake and I put it into the utilities package tutorial project. So to do that, we're just going to use the terminal. And then we're going to build, and then we're going to push. Now, when we go to our actions inside GitHub, we can see that the pipeline is running and we can see that it's passed. Then if we go back to our code in our releases, that we have one release of version 1. And if we go to our repositories, we can see that the package is there. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. Otherwise, see you next time.